we're going to wrap right there. We haven't done a Think Fast in a few weeks, but we're all sports fans, and unfortunately there's this unavoidable news event that has happened this week. So for our Think Fast, Travis Kelce, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Taylor Swift, semi-famous recording artist, musician.
You might have heard. A couple people know. You might have. A couple people know her.
Yeah.
Sold a couple albums.
Man, it's one of those, like, I don't care. I don't follow this thing at all. ESPN.com sent me a notification. They're engaged. Like,
breaking news.
Like,
Jack has been the biggest critic of this for about a year and a half now.
I don't need to know, okay? But I do. Everybody knows about it. But there's a lot of interesting angles to this. And you guys, we chatted about it last night. I'm interested to hear which direction you guys take it. So for our Think Fast, what is our analysis on the big engagement?
Joe, you want to start? Or you want me to start?
You go for it.
Yeah, so it's crazy how much one romance, one couple getting together can truly dominate. And I know I'm in the sports world maybe a little bit more than some, but you don't have to be in the sports world for this to be a story. I mean, this started, I think it was late 2023, and then for all of 2024, what was just a massive story. And I saw something today where the Taylor's Instagram post announcing it is now the most liked post by a celebrity of all time. It passed Zendaya, I think, in her post with Tom Holland. It's now number one. Not a surprise at all. I have a couple things that are very fascinating for me about this. Number one is the idea that you have somebody who is kind of the face of feminism. Maybe not the face, but she's a face, certainly, of feminism and kind of girl power. And, very much she's an idol for women all across the United States. The other thing about it is the age range of the women that idolize her. Like, it ranges all the way from 12 years old still to 40s, mid-40s, like mid-40-year-old women still just absolutely adore and worship Taylor Swift. And so she's kind of is a face of feminism. And yet I've had a tweet pulled up that I thought it kind of summed it up perfectly. It's like, what are most people loving about Taylor Swift? It's not that she, is putting out a new album. It's that she's getting married. The tweet said her post about her engagement has about twice as many likes as her post about owning her masters, her master CDs. The fact that was a big deal that she got her own masters. The post about her getting married is now double the likes, that is, or the post about her getting married is double the likes of her biggest business accomplishment to date. It's dwarfed by her getting married. And I find that so fascinating for several reasons, as I'm sure you guys will get into, just that it's almost like you can see feminism as a farce. It's almost like you can see people deep down know the coolest thing now about Taylor Swift, and the thing that fascinates people the most, is that she's finally found somebody. And will it last? Probably not. Like, will they be divorced in 5 years? Probably. Not that I wish them that. I wish them the best, of course. But, I find that fascinating. The other thing that I find, just kind of as a side note, very fascinating, and then Joe, I guess I'll hand it to you. Taylor Swift's dated a lot of people. Taylor Swift has dated a lot of kind of effeminate, a couple guys that are British, not trying to cast aspersions on British people, but guys that don't...
As you repeat yourself.
Guys that are not the most masculine individuals in the world. And who does she settle down with? Bit more of a man's man, and Travis Kelce, big, tough type football player. I don't know. I find that kind of interesting, that the biggest pop star in the world is settling down with a tight end, not even a quarterback, who's worth like $40 million. I don't know. That's interesting to me. Joe, what thoughts do you have?
I'd give anything to be able to do premarital counseling with them, just to see their dynamic.
So if you guys are watching, it's Joe Wilkie Counseling at Gmail.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
If you stumble across this,
it's only $10 million a session, so don't worry about it. But anyway, no, I'd love to see their dynamics as to like how much is he able to push back on her. She's been a big face of feminism, and yet, Will, to your point, that's what stood out to me is, we can pretend that marriage just kind of jumped the shark and people aren't getting married these days and they don't care about marriage until something like this happens, and all of a sudden marriage is the biggest deal ever. The royal wedding was a huge deal. Like, there's something magical about marriages and about weddings that, as far down as we may go as a society, people can still come back and find a sense of hope.
Marriage. That's what's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And she's a big feminist. I mean, she's talked about being the girl boss and some of her music and things like that. And yet, all of the people that follow her are still liking this because, I think there's a idol worship level to this as well that has to be brought in, of like, it's insane to me that this is everywhere. And I think a lot of this is staged. personally. The fact that ESPN has 5 articles on this particular thing is just ridiculous. But either way, I think people are idolizing this. They are idolizing them in absence of God. That's what you're going to do, is you're going to find the closest thing to God in your opinion, and that's going to be idolizing celebrity culture and all these people that have what you want. But it is interesting that the have what you want is marriage. They want that. They want to be loved. They want to have a fairy tale, picturesque wedding of somebody that cherishes them. And sure, they want the riches and they want everything else, the fame and the fortune. But there's something very biological about this, and the most rabid of feminists is still going to like the post. And the most effeminate guy or the most masculine guy is still going to see, not that I'm liking the post, but is still going to see that as a traditionally good thing. Yeah. And that gives almost a little hope, as bizarre as that may be.
Well, family is cool again. The Scotty Scheffler thing as well is just related to another sports thing. Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. Nike comes out with an ad about him and his son, almost glorifying children, which is strange coming from Nike. Family has resurfaced a bit in the public consciousness.
And the appalling nature of the Coldplay concert. Everybody kind of being up in arms about it. Like, hey, that's not okay. You can't do that. Like, what's it to you guys? Well, they understand the sacredness of marriage to some degree. Jack, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's weird that marriage gives hope, right? Like that it's kind of, hey, maybe getting married, maybe if they have a kid, it'll open their eyes to, he's a bit of a man-child, he's a bit of a goofball. Maybe that, wakes him up a little bit. She's obviously all the things you guys have talked about. Who knows? It doesn't always work that way, but sometimes it does. Sometimes you see, like, you'll see women say, I did not expect to love being a mom this much, and the change that it brings, or I was do it all for myself, kind of, I don't need no man kind of woman, and you find the right one, you get married, and it's like, oh wow, suddenly I'm a wife, and I love being a wife. And for guys, like they kind of, again, they can grow up into that role. It doesn't always happen that way, but sometimes it does. And so when you see something like this, like, who knows what it'll bring about? Who knows, like how much of an impact it has on people that are that entrenched in an identity. But on the other hand, like the downstream effects of, there were tweets about this making every guy in his late 20s that has a serious girlfriend sweat. Like, well, if Taylor Swift got engaged, his girlfriend's going to want to get engaged. Like, that's going to trickle down. People
saying if she gets pregnant after they get married, there'll be another baby boom. Essentially,
literally, like it'll influence a lot of those people. Like, oh, okay, this is cool to do now. And yes, that's ridiculous, but it works that way. Yeah, I mean, you don't have royalty in America, and so celebrity becomes that de facto royalty. So yeah, like we'll see what comes of it, but it is interesting, as you said, the rolling back in this direction. There was a podcaster guy 2 years ago that said, like, you're gonna see a correction back hard. Some of these feminists, some of these LGBT people, some of these, like, that's gonna go out the door, and traditionalism, family, marriage are gonna be brought back in, and it started with some commercials, Super Bowl commercials. There was a couple of those, things like that. And maybe he's right. Maybe we are moving in that direction. And it's a really positive swing, even if I don't like the Kansas City Chiefs, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, any of them. I hope it goes well for them.
To that end, legitimately, I think we should be praying for them. We need to be praying that God uses them, because could you imagine if they come to Christianity, if they return to traditionalism, if they have a kid and decide they don't want her to be the girl boss? Like, could you imagine what that would do if they start bucking the way of the world and go back to traditional values, go back to Christianity? Yeah, that may be a long shot, but nothing is impossible for God. I really do think we should be praying that this turns into a return to great Christian values, and if it comes through, hey, stranger things have happened, I suppose, that'd be really weird if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were the ones bringing it back, but they are big enough to have that much of an impact and sway on the culture that literally people were like melting down that they got engaged. There's a power here that it would be fantastic if God used it to really usher in a new age where people started looking at having kids. And yeah, there's going to be a bazillion and one kids named Travis and Taylor, but on the other hand, hey, we love kids. We want more kids. We want Christian values taught. And if it comes through them, praise be to God.
That's a great thought.
Still, if it doesn't happen, don't let your kids listen to Taylor Swift, because wow, what a terrible woman. No, just
don't idolize. That's for sure.
Yes, very bad influence. Lots of bad lyrics. So again, hopefully this is the catalyst for a shift in the other direction. That's our Think Fast for this week. We will talk to you guys on the deep end on Friday for those who are Members of Focus Plus, we always tell you about it, focuspress.org/PLUS. You can find out more about what you get as a Focus Plus member and check out the deep end. And if not on that one, then we'll talk to you guys next Monday.